All right, guys, this is my very first testimonial video. She was my first test client because I've been through my own tests, like spiritual practices and stuff. But I really wanted to see if what I've learned can be applied by somebody else and get similar or even better results. Okay, so I'd like to introduce Nishi,
Hi
and
guys.
we're in Central Park, New York City. And I'm gonna ask her a couple of questions about how we met, our journey, and her transformation. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just start from zero.
Okay.
How did you find me?
It was back in February. I was in a very deep place in my life, deep dark place, and I was scrolling on TikTok, and I found a video of you talking about journaling. And I was like, oh wow, like that's a really cool idea. I remember leaving a comment in your video, and I think that's how we started. Someone, someone slid into someone's DMs, and then we were like, hey, let's talk about spirituality.
I think I still remember the comment.
Was it? Did
Yeah,
you remember?
I think one of the comment was like, "Oh my God, this is a game changer for
Yeah, it was the
journaling."
journaling. Yes.
And then either you DM me, can I get some help?
I want to connect with you, and then you said
Okay, yeah, it was like a comment. Okay, okay, so February 2024. Okay,
this year.
what kind of headspace were you in?
Um, I would say dark night of the soul. It was like really bad. It was like I was done with. Let me reiterate. I think the headspace I was in was very dark to start with. I had no motivation, no willingness to go on with life. I don't want to say the word, but it was very bad. You know, I had no way of seeing life as a positive thing. Everywhere I looked, it was negative. Every direction I looked like it was blocked off.
What circumstances made you or put you in that?
At the time, I moved out from my childhood home and went to college. It was my second year of college, and I was living in my dorm. I was dorming by myself, and that was the first time I had a taste of freedom. You know, like I didn't have any bound, no one stopping me from, don't do that, don't do this. So freedom also comes with the responsibilities, right? So I didn't know how to take responsibilities, and things started crumbling down on me because I had a really bad relationship. I had some bad friends. I didn't have good guidance, and I think it was meant to be. It's led to a downhill street.
Oh gosh, what did you try to help yourself in that situation?
I remember before I met you, before anything started, I reached out to my school mental health counseling group. You know, I got some therapy done. It was very surface level therapy.
Okay.
And I just tried therapy, that's all. I tried therapy, it didn't really work. I would watch some videos on YouTube about self love, but it still wouldn't work. And I'm like, this is not BS, this is not real.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I had no motivation, I had no willingness to go on.
Gotcha.
That's where I was.
Gotcha. So then, when we started talking, what made it seem like, okay, I got to give this a shot?
You were my chance to. You were like, wow, wow, that's a question. I think when I found your videos, you had a combination of all the things I wanted. You were an answer. You are very aware of who you were, and you were trying to help me. All these things I relate to, and you're someone I wanted to be. So I was like, hey, I see my vision in him. Maybe I could talk to him. Maybe he could give you something people like him, like some advice. I never knew it was going to be a really like a 8 month long journey, but I think that was it. I think I saw a version of myself in you. That's why I like wanted to continue the conversation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, now before we go into the 8 month journey, right? The back and forth conversations that we had and the knowledge transfer, I just want you to tell people, how do you feel now?
I am great. Okay. How I am now, I have completely grown as a woman. I am almost like 99% in touch with myself. My identity is secured. I know my purpose in life, which is such a big thing. I know who I am. I know what I have to bring to the table. I know what I have to bring to the world. And I'm also open to learning and open to change now. You know, I don't think I'm afraid of change anymore. I think I'm open to change. So that's a really big accomplishment for me. Because before, change was terrifying. Now I know I will change and I'm okay with it.
Gotcha.
That's where I am mentally.
So then, what would you say was like the main challenge before? Yeah, what was the main challenge initially? Like, if you'd had to pick one challenge out of the many things that were going wrong.
Knowing who I am. It's like coming in contact with who Nishi is as someone who doesn't have or didn't have an identity, someone who picked up identity from different things in her life. I always needed an anchor and I never had an anchor.
Anchor.
Now I have an anchor.
Okay. What is that anchor?
My dharma.
Okay. Okay.
It's my dharma.
That's a nice segue.
Yeah, it's my dharma.
Okay. So what is dharma?
To me, it might be the basic understanding of dharma, but to me, dharma is what am I bringing to the world? My purpose, what am I bringing to the world? And now when I say world, it's a very vague understanding, right? So to me, I could apply dharma to everything in my life. It's starting from who am I to my mom, to my dad, to my brother, to my friends, to my lovers, like who am I, right?
Yeah.
When I individually establish who I am or know who I am, I'm able to just sit back and relax and be like, yeah,
Gotcha.
you know,
Gotcha.
I know who this is. I know what role I have to play.
Gotcha. And so now you're very secure in your identity, but would you still say you're still like pretty flexible when like struggles arise and
Of
stuff?
course, I think because I'm flexible, I'm secure in my identity. I am okay with change, as I said. Like, if I have to change my identity tomorrow, I'm able to do it because I'm open to growth. I think if before I was holding on to certain identity very rigidly, I wasn't open to growth, which caused me to have whatever I had.
Gotcha. Like you created a box around yourself.
Yeah, now I don't have any limitation. I'm openly dreaming, and I think I could achieve whatever I'm dreaming about.
Nice. Okay, so you talked about like relationship with other people. Tell me about some of the magical things that happened between people within the past 8 months.
Okay. This might be very personal to me, but I'm willing to talk about it.
Okay.
My relationship with my dad changed. You know, it changed because my relationship with me changed.
Yeah.
My relationship with me, my dad is just part of my life. My relationship with me changed a lot. The magical thing ever that happened is I learned self-love, guys. Self-love, I think that's something everybody struggles with. It's not something that's given to you when you're born. It's something you're learned. You learn it when you grow up. Unfortunately, some people don't. And I think, sorry, I'm crying. I'm not crying.
Yeah.
I just have, it's just cold. I was flowing. Okay, so self-love, right?
Yes.
Self-love is something that changed with me. And it changed my universe. I started choosing love in everything.
So, and how did that affect the relationship with your dad?
So because I learned to love myself, I'm able to express myself in a way where my dad is able to love me. Because now that I know who I am, know what I deserve, know what I can give,
Yeah.
and how I can love, and how I can nourish the relationship between me and my dad, it's guiding my dad to know that, hey, this is an open communication. This is an open table for you to come and have a relationship with me. Now it's not just, you're my dad, I'm your daughter. We didn't have a close bond back then, and now you have to be my father. No, it's not like that. It's like a constant growth between me and him. I'm like reestablishing boundaries, reestablishing relationship, and I'm having all these, like, it's a new relationship. I'm having a new relationship with my dad, someone that I'm, bound to have a relationship with, but
Yeah.
I'm learning how to have it as an adult.
Wow.
And that is changing who I am. Because suddenly I'm like, wow, I have boundaries. I have self-love. I know how to have a relationship with people.
How do you deal with the difficulties?
Sorry, you should repeat that question. I was touching my face.
No worries. How do you deal with difficulties of people or difficult people?
How do I deal with this?
Especially with like brown parents. You know how up the ass they can be, right?
I think so. One of my close friends told me they're always gonna be your parents. They're always gonna have problems with you.
Yeah.
I have to look beyond. I think looking beyond, as I said, choosing love. Choosing love has been the solution to everything, dude. I don't think you understand. Like when you mention love in a conversation, that is the solution. So, I think what the gap that I'm healing between me and my parents is the lack of love. When there is difficulties, I still remember to tell them I loved them. That's something that was very hard. And same thing with myself. There's a difficulty. I remind myself I love myself.
Gotcha.
So whatever decision I make or happens in the world, I still love myself.
Okay. So would you say love is an emotion or like a state of being?
Love is a state of being. Love is literally the state of being. Talking about my dad, it's not only that my dad does, it's everybody else that does. My best friends, my cousin, my family members, the way they view me and the way that I perceive them suddenly became like abundance of love only because I started radiating.
Yes.
So I think I had to be in a state of love at all times.
Yeah.
It's not possible to be in a state of love at all times, but if you're choosing love actively,
Yes.
world falls into place.
Yes. Now, tell me like the initial months. How hard was it to I gave you some knowledge, right? We had our coaching sessions. What was the journey like in applying that knowledge?
So, well, then I'll have to talk about your knowledge.
Yeah,
you
go
know?
ahead.
So, the one thing that I want to start with that promo changed the way my life started, the one knowledge that he gave me is gratitude journaling. Gratitude journaling is, it changes you.
Yeah,
it changes
the
who
game.
you are, how you perceive life. It changes how you view things. When we first started talking, you told me like pick up your pen and book and gratitude journal, right? Even if you don't have anything to be grateful about, still journal. Right? And once you start doing that, you start seeing things you love.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when the things you're grateful about are things you love,
Yes.
right? And when I started doing that,
Gotcha.
that was the initial spark.
Smart. Okay. So then let's fast forward a bit. You're good, right? You came out of like that dark space. Now let's get more into like the spiritual and non-materialness of things.
Yes.
How were you able to bend reality? And let's start with career-wise first.
I think ultimately it ends up being you have to be aligned with yourself. I started doing yoga. I started doing yoga. I started gaining knowledge of chakras. I had to align my 7 chakras. By the way, that's the cheat code.
Yes. Yes.
It's the cheat code. Coming from someone who I have a normal human being, it's a cheat code. But as soon as I started doing yoga and I started knowing my body, knowing my emotion, knowing my feelings in the body, I started being aligned with myself. So now that's time for universe.
Yeah.
When it came to me being present in a room that doesn't align with who I am, I have no problem leaving that room. That helped me a lot with mental health.
Okay.
But suddenly I know which room I want to be in.
Gotcha. And then I remember you saying one time that in like the 4th month of us talking, you somehow got your first internship.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
I'm actually doing the internship right now.
wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Okay.
So how I got that internship, my dharma. I was exploring my dharma, my purpose in life, and it started with my career, who I am. By the way, I'm a psychology student I'm in my 3rd year of college now. I'm exploring psychology and I'm going to grow in psychology. And one of my goals is to work with every age group. So I saw that vision. I was like, I want to work with every age group. And the first one was children, I started looking into internships with children, like autism and whatever I could be in that area. But my resume and who I was at the time didn't resonate. I wasn't who I needed to be at the time, by the way. So I think for the first time, I had faith in God. I prayed and I had faith in God, and I said, I'm just gonna apply and see where this goes.
Okay.
I applied. I forgot about it. I magically got it.
Okay.
But just because I got the internship does not mean I was ready for it. Because I didn't start the internship until a month ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
okay,
I
so
had
this
to-
is news for me too.
So just because God, the universe is gonna give you what you want doesn't necessarily mean you're ready for it. You need to align yourself to that value for that to be in fruition.
Okay. Now I want to talk about God and religion. Okay. I want you to talk about your religious upbringing
Okay.
and your understanding of God before
Okay.
and then after.
Okay. I was born in a Muslim family. I'm Muslim. I'm from Bangladesh. I come from a very religious family, but on papers, my family's kind of flexible. I would say. I think they love me and my cousins and all the young ones enough for us to explore our own religion. They don't really oppose it on us, but they would want us to be, Islamic. But now my personal upbringing as who I am, I was taught to fear God. No, I think it's very natural. I think a lot of people could, find that commonality. That's very normal. I was taught to fear God. I was taught that, religion is good, God is good, but only if you do the right thing. But what is the right thing? What if I'm not taught to do the right thing? So that is a whole new step. I don't know if you want to get into it, like how I got to God. That's. Do you want me to?
You don't have to talk about the process. Talk about what happened after the process.
What happened after the fact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the light bulbs that went off.
When I found God, I have an easier way to access love. I could access love very, very quick. I could just sit here and access love right now. I could come. I'm in a place of love right now.
Yeah.
I'm coming from a place of love. When I found God, everyone else started aligning with who I am. I started to see visions of me in other people. I started to see versions of me in my friends, in my family, in my people I meet, random strangers on the street. Like I just started to see me. I'm like, this is who I am. This is what I want to be or who I am.
There's no separation.
There isn't a separation, and it's so easy for me to connect to people and be this ball of light, be this open ground, welcoming to everybody because I know I have love.
Gotcha. Now, because you have God, tell me about your intuition versus your thinking logical mind.
My thinking logical mind comes from my past conditioning.
Oof.
You got me? It comes from past conditioning. Just because I am flying in my spiritual plane doesn't mean my psychology and my brain is not conditioned. But intuition comes to you in your samadhi.
Yeah.
Intuition comes to you in your samadhi, meditation. Intuition comes to you in your meditation. But I realized that my intuition didn't necessarily come to me in my meditation. It came to me when I had the intention to meditate. So maybe like I'm preparing my day to meditate. I'm gonna go and meditate right now. As I'm thinking about meditation, my intuition would like start ringing my bell, and I'm like, "Wow, this is my time to go."
Okay.
I'm gonna go and sit in silence. This is where I need to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where my intuition would ring a lot.
Gotcha.
But thinking wise, it rings everywhere. It's anxiety, Like I'm always thinking.
Gotcha. Yes. So then, how did you make better decisions, right? Because like problem solving and decision making.
When you have faith in God, you know that every decision you make is part of your life. Because I had the faith in God that backed me up, whatever decision I made, I knew it's the right one for me. But also, like as I said, if you are doing yoga and you're aligned with your chakras, you're aligned with yourself, you have sensations in your body tells you it's fucking not right.
Right? That gut feeling is easier to listen to.
Automatically, I learned to listen to my body. I learned to take care of my emotions. So if I know that I'm emotionally unstable at this very moment, I will speak it. Hey, I'm not emotionally stable right now to have this conversation or make this decision. I'll take my time out, do what I have to do, come back and do that.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you about your Bangladesh story.
Oh my god.
because I felt like that story, that's like out of my scope. I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, bank on yourself and not God and trust, and then you gotta take it from there.
Okay. So this is I'm talking August,
Yes.
right? At this point, I have been getting life coached by him from February. It's been a couple of months now. I had a lot of different tricks and tips under my sleeve, techniques.
Yeah.
And I think that whole situation is solely spiritual.
Yeah.
You know, I live my own reality. I think I was meant to have that situation place. So I went back to my country after 6 years for the first time. And this time when I went back to my country, all my family members are not there.
Oh.
It's just my parents and me. Everybody is in America or they passed away during COVID.
Okay.
That's the only thing, you know. So I think what I have to mention before I continue the story is there's somebody that's very important in my life, which is my uncle. My uncle, I call him Papa. And he was the father figure in my life that like gave me so much love, unconditional love. So going back to Bangladesh now, after he passed away during COVID, I had to face a version of myself I wasn't ready for. And what you want me to tell them is the political situation in Bangladesh at the time. So don't cancel me for this, but at the time, the prime minister of my country flee the country.
Oh wow.
I landed, and 2-3 days later, the country was in lockdown. Nobody's allowed to go outside. There's a curfew. Shoot on sight. That's the curfew that they had, and the president ran away from the country. They overtook the country. Chaos. Actual chaos. So that means quarantine times 10. Think about quarantine times 10 because right now I'm not in my normal homeostasis home. You know, I'm like not back to my homeostasis. I'm in a different place, different country. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm stuck with my parents. I was stuck with my parents and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I don't have any drugs.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but you know, like
No Zanny to calm down.
no Sadie, no bud, you know, no buddy, nothing. So all I had is me, my thoughts, and my journal, and all the tips that Pramod had taught me. So I remember texting you. I was like, dude, what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah.
So one thing I remember you telling me is, what do you feel? What about pain body? Do you feel everyone's pain body? And I go, yes. I felt the whole country's pain body.
Yes, I remember you telling me this.
The anxiety, the fear, the fact that I don't think I'm able to go back to my own country, America.
Yeah, there was a chance that you may not
I
have
took
gone
the
back.
last flight back home. Before they like broke the airport with the hammer. I mean, not hammer, bulldozer.
Okay.
It was like crazy, but the pain body made me realize that whatever identification I had within myself, it like nothing matters. It's my practice, my identity, who I am is something that I carry everywhere.
Yeah.
So even though my whole world was shook, I still knew who I am. So I continued my samadhi, I continued my yoga, continued meditating in the balcony of my apartment, knowing that I'm not allowed to go outside, you know? And it came with so much disappointment because I was looking forward to connecting with my culture.
Yeah.
It didn't work that way.
Okay.
So the disappointment, the heartbreak, the family telling us like, oh, you guys came at the wrong time, like all these negative things together, it really like ignited old version of me. You know, but the only difference is I had faith in God.
Did you say you survived that test?
I think I killed that test.
Yes.
I think there was 2 ways I could have gone. I could have went downhill or uphill. I think I only went uphill. That could have put me back in depression.
Yes.
But it didn't.
Yeah.
I somehow fought my parents and I'm like, you have to go back to America. I'm not doing this. You know, this is unsafe. I brought them back to America, and then when I came back to my room and I meditated again, I was like, wow, That was like a fever dream.
Yeah, I can't even. That's beyond my scope.
It was beyond your scope. It's beyond my scope. I wasn't ready for it,
Yeah.
you know. But it didn't feel real. It felt dystopian because I saw so much blood and so much death and so many people dying and getting kidnapped
Yeah.
and stuff. It's not normal. It's not normal things to see in person.
Yes.
So it was humbling,
Wow.
grounding.
Yeah. So now I want to ask you, to the people that are watching this, what kind of person would benefit from if I worked with them?
A seeker.
So my phone died, and we just decided to change locations.
The squirrel.
There's a squirrel right there. It's like awfully close to the camera, but all right, but we move. So the question I asked last was, who would you recommend to work with?
I think my last answer was a seeker. If you're a seeker,
What does a seeker mean?
a seeker is someone who is. It's kind of self-explanatory. You're seeking. You have to figure out what you're seeking, but as long as you know you're seeking, you'll benefit. You have to be a seeker of knowledge, seeker of who you are, seeker of the big question like what is life, what is God. You have to be a seeker, you know, to find it.
Nice. And so, what would you tell that person, the next person that would work with me? What would you tell them to expect?
An experience that's beyond words. That's the only way I could say it. It's an experience that's not explainable by words. I think when it comes to spirituality, we're trying our best to put it into words, but spirituality is way more than whatever language, words, understanding you can have. You just have to experience it. And guys, it's a real experience. It's actually a real experience.
And what would you say is, how did I help you? Because you already had some level of, seekership, some level of curiosity by yourself. How did I help with completing that bridge?
I don't think I had anything.
Oh,
That's new. I don't think I had any level of seekership.
Okay.
I wasn't seeking. When I first met you, I didn't come from a place of seeking. I come from a place of I'm at a final stop. There is nothing beyond right now. I don't see a vision beyond.
Wow.
I think you are like a candle flame, and the fire just kept getting bigger. But how do I say it? Like something has to spark you, and for someone, I also like to believe that if someone finds you, I think it's meant to be. That flame, you're like a flame in someone's life that has to keep growing, right? So
Okay.
if someone finds you and someone starts getting coached by you, it's a sign, and they should definitely take it.
Okay.
It's an opportunity for you to go find the answer.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. That means so much.
Of course,
And
thank you.
final question. What would you say to Nishi back in February?
That if you don't know who you are, that's okay, because the universe knows who you are. And even if you come to a final stop and you are like, I can't keep going, there's always a road, there's always a path, there's always a solution, you know?
Yeah.
Like giving up shouldn't be an option, because there's always solution. When you can see it, universe will reveal it to you, through people like you, through knowledge, through YouTube videos, through books. You will find who you are. Just have faith. And last thing I want to add is I started off from bottom up. I had nothing. I was a nobody. I didn't have an identity, and now I have an identity. I am a somebody. If anything, I feel like I could be anybody. So I want to say this is real, guys. Like, this is reality. I am just a normal human being giving a normal, like, testimony about what I went through. But what I went through holds so much depth that I know this is real. Buddha always says, like, find out yourself. Don't rely on what I have to say. Find out yourself.
Yes.
You know? So that's find out yourself, guys.
Yeah.
So I have to say.
All right. And thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much for everything.
Yes.
You changed my life.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Stay tuned for more.